Out here, the day don't start with a loud alarm or some fancy gadget. It starts with the sun crawling over the hills and the soft shuffle of hooves in the dirt. Life on the trail don't move fast. It don't care about your schedule or your rush. It teaches you one hard-earned truth right out of the gate. You got to learn to wait. And not the kind of waiting where you're tapping your boots, cussing under your breath. I'm talking real bone-deep patience, the kind that grows slow like mesquite in the desert. The trail will teach you if you let it. You try to hurry cattle, they scatter. You pull hard on a green horse, he'll fight you. A cowboy learns real quick. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. I remember my first cattle drive. I was young, full of vinegar and pride, tried to push a steer too hard across a creek. That old boy spun, kicked mud in my face, and near broke my arm. The boss didn't yell. He just tipped his hat and said, "Let the cow choose the pace. You just guide the way." That stuck with me like a burr in my boot. Life ain't about rushing. It's about riding steady. Another time, we were fixing to move a herd, but a storm rolled in. Nothing you can do except hunker down and wait. No amount of yelling at the clouds will make the rain stop. That's how life is sometimes. You want to get moving, but the world's saying, not yet. You can stomp your hat and holler at the sky. Or you can sit still, sip some coffee, and wait for the mud to dry. A man who don't learn patience ends up worn out, broke down, and chasing nothing but trouble. Teaching a young horse is like raising a kid. You can't rush trust. You got to speak soft, move slow, and show 'em you mean no harm. Same goes for love, dreams, and just about anything worth holding on to. Folks today want things fast. Fast money, fast food, fast love. But let me tell you, fast don't last. A slow-cooked meal beats a microwaved one any day, and a dream that grows steady has roots deep enough to weather the storm. I seen cowboys push their horses too far. Seen 'em end up busted, limping, and full of regret. Life ain't a sprint. It's a long ride through rough country. And if you don't slow down, you're going to miss the best parts. The sunrise, the quiet wind, the way your horse breathes under you. Rushing don't just cost you time. It costs you joy. It costs you peace. And sometimes it costs you everything. I once asked an old hand, gray beard, dry hands like leather, what the secret to cowboying was. He said, "Ain't about being fast. It's about being steady." That man could mend a fence with a pocket knife and a prayer. He didn't talk much, but when he did, it stuck. He said most folks mess up because they try to get somewhere before they're ready. "You ain't late," he'd say. "You're just early and impatient." That's cowboy wisdom, if I've ever heard it. Patience don't mean sitting on your hands. It means doing what you can while you wait on what you can't control. It means showing up every day, even when nothing changes. Watering the same dry ground until one day green shoots appear. That's the kind of strength patience builds, the quiet kind. The lasting kind. The cowboy kind. I ain't got it all figured out, not by a long shot. The trail's still teaching me. But if there's one thing I know deep down in my bones, it's this. The good stuff comes slow. A good horse, a good woman, a good life, they all take time. So if the world's got you feeling behind, if you're watching others fly past while you're moving slow, just remember, you ain't stuck. You're settling into your stride. Keep your eyes on the trail, your hand on the reins, and your heart full of grit, because the cowboy who learns patience, he's the one who finishes the ride. Life out here don't come easy. The sun burns, the wind bites, and the land don't give nothing for free. But ask any old cowboy, and he'll tell you, you don't learn nothing by riding smooth trails. You learn from the dust, from the times you hit the dirt, from the moments when the world says no, and you get back in the saddle anyway. I still remember the first time I got bucked off. Thought I had that horse figured out. Chin high, feeling proud. Then bam! Next thing I know, I'm kissing dirt and wondering which way was up. My pride was bruised worse than my ribs. But my old man just looked at me and said, "Well, now you're learning. 'Cause out here, falling ain't failure. Staying down is. Life's a lot like a rodeo. You train, you plan, you hold tight. Then the gate swings open and chaos begins. You ain't always in control. Sometimes all you can do is hold on, ride it out, and hope you land on your feet. And if you don't, you brush off the dirt and ride again. Every cowboy worth his salt has scars. What makes him stand tall is what he did after he got knocked down. Failure don't always come loud. Sometimes it's the silence that wears you down. Like working a stretch of fence in the heat with no help, no thanks, and no end in sight. That's when doubt creeps in. You start asking yourself, is this worth it? Am I cut out for this? But let me tell you, the cowboy spirit ain't measured by wins. It's measured by keeping on when you ain't got much left. I'd rather fail 100 times trying to rope a steer than sit on the fence watching other folks ride. There's no shame in falling. The only shame is never mounting up. Each scar on my hand tells a story. Some are from mistakes, some are from bad luck. But all of them mean I showed up, gave it my best, and took the hits like a man. I once tried to train a horse nobody wanted. He'd been beat, broken, and branded a lost cause. First few weeks, I thought I was wasting my time. He'd bolt, buck, bite, you name it. But every morning I showed up, talked soft, tried again. Took months, but one day he let me ride him without a fight. And right then I knew, the best things in life don't come easy. Sometimes failure is on just the dirt road that leads to something real. You spend enough time in the dust, you start to see it different. Dust ain't just dirt. It's proof you're moving. Every dusty boot print, every trail you've walked, it's all part of your story. Folks want to look polished and clean, but out here, dust means you're doing the work. And failure? It's just a signpost that says, this ain't the way, try another path. I've helped many a young buck off the ground, told him what was once told to me. Falling ain't the problem. Staying down is. It's okay to cry, okay to cuss a little, but don't quit. Get back up, dust off, and swing your leg over that saddle again. Every time you do, you get a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more like the cowboy you were born to be. Maybe you're feeling like you're behind, like you failed too much, lost too often. But let me tell you, cowboy, you ain't done yet. Every great rider has fallen. Every champion has failed. The ones who make it, they just never stopped riding. You ain't beat unless you quit. And you were made for more than quitting. I got scars that ache when the cold rolls in. Got stories that still sting when I tell them. But I wouldn't trade a single one. They made me. Taught me what no school ever could. Failure is a better teacher than success. And the road to becoming who you're meant to be? It's paved with busted bones, lost chances, and lessons earned the hard way. So hold your head high, even if your boots are muddy and your hands are shaking. You're still in the fight. And that means you're still winning. If this hit home, give that a like button a little love. And if you ain't already riding with us, subscribe to the Cowboy Chronicles. We're telling the kind of stories this world needs. True, tough, and full of heart. And remember, falling ain't the end. It's just the start of a better ride. Some things don't shine. They don't shout. They don't flash. And they don't win prizes. But they matter more than gold ever could. Honor. Honor is what you do when no one's clapping. When there's no crowd, no cheers, just you, the wind, and your own reflection. I once rode out and found a stretch of barbed wire sagging. Could have kept going. Nobody was watching. Boss wouldn't have known, but I stopped. Tightened it. Fixed it right. Not because I had to, but because that's what a man of honor does. You don't do right for a pat on the back. You do it because it's right. Even if only the wind knows. There was a widow down the road. Barn was fallen in. No help in sight. She never asked. Didn't want to be a burden. So I showed up one morning with a hammer and a lunch pail. Spent the whole day putting that barn back together. Didn't post it, didn't brag. Just nodded when she said thank you. And I'll tell you, that nod meant more than 1,000 likes ever could. Out here, your word is all you got. No contracts, no fine print, just a handshake. And if you break it, you might as well ride out and never come back. Keep your promises, big or small. If you say You'll be there at sunup. Be there. Rain, wind, or worse. Folks will forget what you said, but they'll remember how you stood behind it. I knew a fellow once who tried to shortcut every job, cut corners, hid his mistakes, lied to make himself look good. He got ahead for a while. But out here, the truth catches up like a dust storm on a clear trail. By the end, nobody trusted him. Cheatin' might win you a race, but it'll cost you every friend who matters. A real leader don't need a crowd. He don't shout orders or chase claps. He just does what's right. Day after day, quiet, steady, unshakable. You lead best when no one's looking. That's when your true character shines through, like stars in a moonless sky. There was a time I was wronged bad, betrayed by a man I trusted. I wrote a letter that would have torn him down. Every word was true, every sentence sharp. But I never sent it, burned it instead. Because I realized, just because you can strike don't mean you should. Sometimes honor means letting go, riding away with your pride intact. Cattle wear brands so folks know who they belong to. But a man's brand is how he treats others. You brand yourself every time you speak truth. Do right, stand tall. That's the mark, folks, remember? Not your hat, your boots, or your ride, but your choices. Every day you're leaving your mark. Make it count. There will be days when the trail's mighty quiet. No one to cheer you on, no one to see the work you did. But that's the test. Do you still ride true when no one's watching? That's where honor lives. Not in praise, but in private. Not in noise, but in the silence of your own soul. You may not know it, but someone's watching. A young rider, a neighbor, maybe your own kin. They see how you treat folks, how you ride, how you speak, how you live. And they'll learn from your example, good or bad. So live like the cowboy you'd want them to become. With truth in your heart, dust on your boots, and honor in your hands. If this one lit a fire in you, hit like so we know you're riding with us. And make sure you subscribe to Cowboy Chronicles. We ain't just telling tales, we're passing on the code. Because the world don't need more noise. It needs more men of honor. And maybe that's you. Life's a long trail, friend. It ain't always pretty. Some parts are smooth as prairie grass. Others feel like you're riding through cactus and fire ants. But here's the truth. The ride ain't meant to be easy. It's meant to shape you. And if you keep riding long enough, you'll leave tracks behind worth following. There'll be days when you can't see 10 feet ahead. Storms blowing, ground's gone dry, and you feel like giving up. But let me tell you, grit is born in the dust. Not in the sunshine, not in the good times. In the ache, the fight, the storm, you don't get strong by coasting. You get strong by pushing forward when the world says, stop. You ain't taking much with you when the ride ends. But what you leave behind, that's your legacy of the stories folks tell about you, the values you lived by, the fences you mended, the lives you touched. The right choices you made when wrong was easier. Legacy ain't money. It's how folks feel when they say your name. I remember the day Iron Buck, toughest cowboy I ever knew, hung up his hat. He didn't cry, didn't brag, just looked out across the land he'd worked for 60 years and said, I did my part. Now it's your turn. That stuck with me. Every day's a chance to build something that'll outlive you. Make sure it's worth standing on. You want to leave a mark? Don't just tell them, show them. Teach your boys to ride straight. Teach your girls they're tougher than they think. Show them how to fall and get back up. Teach them respect. Teach them work. Teach them truth. This world don't raise cowboys. It remembers the ones who did the raising. You may get slower. Your bones might ache. But if you rode true, that saddle's still with you, even if it's just in your heart. The cowboy way don't retire. It just gets quieter, wiser. You may not chase cattle, but you can still steer souls. Sure, work with your stories, your silence, your steady presence. You might think it's too late, too old, too broken. But let me tell you, as long as there's breath in your chest, your trail ain't done. Like, you can always change, always grow, always give. I've seen old cowboys mend fences with folks they hadn't spoken to in decades. I've seen last rides turn into new beginnings. The good Lord ain't done with you yet, The stars don't shout. They don't move fast, but they shine night after night. Quiet, steady, be like the stars. Let your life be a light for someone riding in the dark. You may never know who you helped, but one day they'll thank you in a way that don't need words. One day the trail ends. You'll hang up your hat, unsaddle your horse, and ride home. The question is, will you be proud of how you rode? Did you love hard? Work honest? Stand tall? Did you ride for something bigger than yourself? If so, then you've done all right, partner. Real right. This world's still wild in its own way, still full of storms, snakes, and lies, but it's also full of folks looking for a true rider to follow. Be that rider. Be the one who carries the fire, who rides with honor, speaks with truth, and leaves behind a trail brighter than the one he found. The long trail ain't just about you, it's about those who come after. So ride strong, ride true, and keep riding always. If this ride spoke to your soul, partner, tap like and hit subscribe to join our campfire here at Cowboy Chronicles. We ain't just sharing stories. We're keeping the code alive. One ride, one truth, one cowboy heart at a time. Now get back in that saddle and keep riding.